Everyone expected one thing from this World Cup. Argentina, the Golden Team, the South American Giants, lifting the trophy again while FIFA smiled from the front row. Instead, Argentina crashed out with nothing. And here's the twist nobody's talking about. The most corrupt, most political World Cup Gianni Infantino has ever run just blew up in his face. Because the whole tournament was built to serve his machine, his alliances, his power, and even that couldn't hand Argentina the cup. So let's break down how it all backfired, because once you see how this system really works, you'll never watch a World Cup final the same way again. Start with the question echoing through football right now. Can Infantino actually fall? A few weeks ago that sounded absurd. Today it's a serious conversation, because this grotesque tournament stripped FIFA's governance bare and exposed the political interests that ran the whole show. And the clearest proof came at the moment the cameras were rolling. The halftime of the World Cup final lasted 27 minutes. The rules of this sport say 15, maximum. So why the extra 12? Because the spectacle mattered more than the sport. And that tells you everything about the Infantino era. Break the rules when it makes a bigger show. Then cling to the rulebook the second you need it to justify a political decision. The regulations don't govern him. He governs the regulations. Now here's why this connects to Argentina. For years, FIFA's alliance with South America has been one of Infantino's biggest power bases. We've seen how FIFA reportedly propped up figures in that region, how the Argentine Federation and others were protected when things got uncomfortable. That alliance is Infantino's insurance policy. Which is exactly why it's so stunning that with all that political weight behind the region, Argentina still walked away empty-handed. The favoritism, the protection, the tilted machine, none of it could manufacture the one thing football actually decides on the pitch. The game won. The system lost. And that's the crack in the whole operation. Because normally, FIFA is supposed to be bigger than its president. Under this system it's the reverse. FIFA has never been weaker, and the office of president has never been more powerful. In a healthy world, the vast majority of federation presidents would have demanded Infantino's immediate resignation for turning a global institution into his personal back office. So why haven't they? Because almost none of them will say a word in public. Privately, they're furious. They complain through press attaches and outside PR firms, telling journalists they've had enough, but the system is too strong. Publicly, they back him to the death. But follow the money. A seat on the FIFA Council reportedly pays at least $250,000 a year for maybe 8 meetings. Add the private jets, the invitations, the instant status as one of the most important people in the game, and loyalty suddenly looks very attractive. The more you serve the monarch of world football, the more crumbs fall your way. There's even a darker read on that silence. Some federations say they don't want to annoy Infantino because of future World Cup bids. But think about that. Why would a country fear reprisals from a football body? That fear only makes sense if the organization behaves like something else. Something rogue. And this isn't a fringe idea. More than a decade ago, during the FIFA agate scandal, U.S. prosecutors treated FIFA using the RICO framework, the legal tool built for mafia-style criminal organizations. So when presidents whisper about retaliation, they're describing exactly that kind of machine. Here's the argument Infantino leans on every time: money. With me you get more. I fixed FIFA's finances. And yes, FIFA posts enormous revenue and hands ever larger sums to the federations, money that, in plenty of documented cases, quietly disappears, while everyone looks away, because those same presidents are the voters. But here's the truth he'll never admit. Put anyone else in that chair and FIFA prints the same fortune. It isn't Infantino who generates the money. It's football. It's what the game means to billions of people. Swap him out tomorrow and the federations still get their millions. He just needs you scared the taps will run dry without him. That fear is the engine. It's why, right before an election, the tournament conveniently grows. 64 teams. Bigger subsidies. Some might call that vote buying dressed up as generosity. But surely that's just the cynics talking. And now the revolt is showing on every continent. UEFA is the turning point. Its president refused to attend the final in protest over the Balogun affair, A public snub aimed straight at Infantino. Norway's president filed an ethics complaint against him. Sweden refused to sign a letter of support. Germany's backing is lukewarm. Off the record, one of the richest and most powerful figures in the game, the head of Hungary's federation, openly says enough is enough. These people are quietly hunting for a candidate. But here's the trap. Nobody dares run. Everyone's scared of looking ridiculous, because FIFA claims 200 federations already guarantee their support. Except it isn't true. In Southern Africa, a whole block of associations refused to sign that letter. So FIFA applies pressure. We need your support letter. And underneath it, the unspoken warning, careful, or there'll be consequences. That's not a campaign. That's a machine, built not for football, but for one man. Remember the one thing they'd rather you forget, though. If it comes to a vote, it's a secret ballot. And secret ballots produce surprises, in Africa and everywhere else. Africa is the swing continent, 54 federations, and it's fracturing. Patrice Motsepe was placed atop African football by FIFA itself. Now he and Infantino are at war, reportedly because CAF signed off on a Somali referee working UEFA's Super Cup, a move Infantino saw as pure betrayal. Word is Motsepe won't finish his second term, and the fight to succeed him has already begun, with FIFA's ethics bodies quietly digging through files on anyone who looks like a threat. That's the political weapon in action, an ethics commission that protects friends and hunts enemies. Look at the loyalists FIFA leaned on during the tournament. During the Balogun affair, obedient federations, Niger, Djibouti, Mauritania, rushed to declare full support for Infantino. That's the currency now. Submission traded for posts and payments. And it's the same South American alliance, the one that couldn't even deliver Argentina the trophy, that's still pushing hardest for the 64-team expansion, because for them it's about votes and business, not the game. So who could finally challenge him? Names are leaking. Some point to Nasser Al-Khelaifi, given Qatar's lobbying weight inside UEFA. And here's the twist. The Qatar-FIFA relationship right now is bad. They were deeply disappointed by Infantino, who's always treated Al-Khelaifi like a subordinate. But would Qatar really go to war with a close friend of Donald Trump? Because that's the final layer. Infantino has tied himself to Trump, who reportedly sees him as a future Secretary General of the United Nations, which has been Infantino's real ambition all along. There's even a plan, using his most docile allies, to push a special amendment so he can run for a fourth term that shouldn't exist. So step back and look at the full picture. The most corrupt, most political World Cup ever, engineered around one man's grip on power, protected by fear and cash, with the sport treated as an afterthought. And the ultimate irony? For all that manipulation, all that favoritism toward his allies, Argentina still crashed out without the trophy. The machine served Infantino. It couldn't serve the scoreboard. Football had the final word. The question now is who's brave enough to make him pay for it. Tell me in the comments who could actually take Infantino down. Hit subscribe, turn on the bell, and stay with me, because this fight is only getting started.